was talking to an executive high up at a large financial institution, which I can't say the name of right now, but he was trying to advance his career, and I said, well, do you have employee roadmaps there? And he's like, what's that? And I'm like, it's basically an outline of what you should expect, as far as your own personal growth within the organization and what roles you might be eligible for and the salary increases associated with it. And you're not going to be able to, like, he was trying to get this new role. It was the highest he can go within his interest within the organization. And, he didn't have any training with this one specific aspect. And in corporate, they're just looking at the recruiter and the hiring manager is just looking at this checklist of things, to mark off. Now, he is way more than capable of handling that role. But, he's also a very fast learner and will study the out of whatever he needs to do in order to get there. But he didn't get the role because that checklist box wasn't checked on the checklist. And now he's kind of like in this weird, like, I don't know what my path is. And so I'm like, you have to sit down with your hiring manager and discuss what your roadmap is going to look like. So you would want to stay within the organization as well. And, you can craft everything you do towards getting to that next level,
Chris, it drives me absolutely nuts. That is way too parochial for my blood. Now, I understand that in compliance-driven and regulatory roles, you have to have the certain credentials and the criteria. Right. That's a given. That's part of what you need to do. But when you have someone with so much potential, enthusiasm, experience,
right,
and what's barring them is item 24A of a 25 checklist,
right, yeah,
that doesn't make sense. The other part about it is I like to always try to put myself in their shoes.
Yeah.
And let's say I did wind up somehow circumventing or navigating or being able to get this item checked. Let's say I did complete it and I did. Am I motivated as an employee now for a company that I had to
100%.
jump through all these hurdles,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like it leaves that bad taste in your mouth, right? So I always tell people never sugarcoat anything. Be very transparent with your folks.
Right.
The mapping is good. Some companies don't have anything, right? They don't even know what the next title is. They actually just create titles as people move up.
Right.
Like there isn't any of those systems. I always ask people, let me see your core values.
Right.
Because every single training we do, we don't keep it. We're very different than any other firm. We actually design the training for the company, and we give them full reproducible rights.
Got it.
No one else wants to do that because all the money is made by the firms in the reproducible aspects. I'm like, I'd rather you renew with us because you love us and we're the best and we blow everyone else out of the water rather than sit there and try to ding you 5, 10, 20K on reproducible rights. But we always tie it back to the core values. It's like, well, we don't have core values. We have a mission statement. All right, well, it's something to work with, but there's no consistency across the board. When you're dealing with parochial, and we have several of those clients too, and what we realize is they're so myopic in what they do in certain aspects of it, and it's very detailed what they need to develop those folks. Makes life a little easier because you know that what's missing from point A to point B is this, so let's develop that. But some of the intangibles on leadership, my man, doesn't come on a checklist.
Right.